Next, we move on to Unit 3, which is nothing but transient response analysis. So, in that, first we shall discuss briefly L and C elements. Two fundamental types of energy storage elements are capacitor and inductor. In DC circuits, L and C, that is inductor and capacitor, takes time to store and release energy, leading to a transient state. So that means we have three basic circuit elements, R, L and C. R is the resistor, L is the inductor, C is the capacitor. In resistor, energy is dissipated in the form of heat, right? Resistor cannot store any energy, only it can dissipate the energy in the form of heat. Whereas this inductor or capacitor, it can store the energy and then it can release the energy. So that will lead to a transient state. That means if you apply any voltage to inductor or capacitor, the current through inductor or capacitor will take some time to reach the steady state value. That time period is called the transient state, and that corresponding analysis is known as the transient response analysis, right? So, we shall see capacitor first, and then we will discuss briefly inductor from a transient analysis point of view. So, we are not going to discuss completely about capacitor and inductor, but from transient response analysis point of view, the relevant equations we are going to discuss, right? So, capacitor is nothing but a two-port device that stores and releases energy, right? So, this is the symbol for capacitor. C is the capacitance, V of t is the voltage across the capacitor, I of t is the current through the capacitor. So, capacitor you may be knowing very well. It is two parallel plates. In between parallel plates, you have the dielectric or insulating material, right? So, this is one parallel plate, this is another parallel plate. So, the voltage across the capacitor is V of t. Now, current flowing through the capacitor is I of t. So, this current flow accumulates charges on the capacitor. It accumulates charges on the capacitor. Left hand side, it will accumulate positive charge. Right hand side, it can accumulate the negative charge, right? So, in other words, we have the electric field exists between the two plates of the capacitor. So, this green color lines are the electric field lines. So, it will start from the positive side, it will end at the negative side, okay. By definition, capacitance C is given by Q divided by V, where Q is the charge, V is the voltage. This you call equation number 1. So, capacitance is nothing but accumulation of charge for an applied voltage V. That is, for an applied voltage V, how much charge gets accumulated or how much charge gets stored by the capacitor, that quantity is called capacitance. That quantity is called capacitance. Now from this equation number 1, Q equal to C into V, you call equation number 2. Now you differentiate on both sides of equation number 2. So you have dq by dt equal to d by dt of Cv. dq by dt equal to, C is a constant, you can take outside, C into dv by dt. See, this dq by dt is nothing but, by definition, current, that is rate of flow of charge. So that is nothing but current I. So I equal to C dv by dt. This you can call equation number 3. From equation number 3, dv by dt equal to, take this downstairs. So dv by dt equal to I divided by C. This you can call as equation number 4, right? Equation number 4. Okay. So next, you integrate on both sides of equation number 4. So you have integral dv by dt equal to integral I by C dt plus V naught. This V naught is the initial voltage across the capacitor. Or in other words, it is the voltage across the capacitor at the starting time, right? That is the initial voltage. Integral dv by dt, this C is constant, you can take outside the integral. 1 by C integral I dt plus V naught. Suppose the initial voltage is 0, right? Suppose if you assume, if the initial voltage is 0, so integral dv by dt is nothing but V equal to 1 by C integral I dt. So you call equation number 5. Next, power. In this case, power is given by voltage into current. So P equal to V put as it is. I you substitute from previous equation. I think equation 3. Substitute equation 3 here. So P equal to V C dv by dt. So I already told capacitor and inductor, these two are energy storage elements. So if you take the case of a capacitor, it stores energy in its electrostatic field. Capacitor stores energy in its electrostatic field. Okay. So W is the energy equal to integral of P dt. Okay. W equal to P, previous equation is P, that is equation number 6. That substitute here. W equal to integral Vc dv by dt into dt when the initial voltage equal to 0, that is V naught equal to 0. Now this C is a constant, take it outside the integral. So W equal to C integral V dv by dt into dt, this dt getting cancelled. W equal to C integral V dv. W equal to C, you integrate this. So this is going to be V square divided by 2. W equal to half CV square. This we call equation number 3. So W equal to half CV square is the energy stored in the inductor. The energy storage equation in the inductor. So next storage element we have already told. Next storage element is your inductor. First we have seen the capacitor. Another storage element is the so-called inductor. Okay. In the case of inductor, an inductor stores energy in its electromagnetic field. So this you should remember very clearly. So capacitor is also an energy storage element. Inductor is also an energy storage element. In capacitor, energy is stored in its electrostatic field, whereas in an inductor, energy is stored in its electromagnetic field. Okay. So an inductor is nothing but a coil, which is nothing but a coil of n number of turns, and V of t is the voltage applied across the inductor or across the coil. I of t is the current through the coil. Okay. So you might have studied in your lower classes, whenever current flows through a conductor, a magnetic field gets established around the conductor. Okay. So similarly, but this is also a conductor, but not a straight conductor. It is a coil. Okay. Here also a magnetic field is established through the inductor, through this coil, right? Through this coil, a magnetic field is produced. So this green color, these are nothing but magnetic field lines. So the magnetic field, that is magnetic field lines linking with this coil, it is called a flux linkage. So the symbol for flux linkage is lambda. In some old books, they are using the symbol psi. Okay. Both are same. So modern usage is lambda for flux linkage. Some authors, they prefer to use a psi to denote the flux linkage. So this is the symbol for inductance, and L is the symbol for inductance. V of t is the applied voltage. I of t is the current through the inductor. Okay. So in an inductor, the flux linkage is proportional to current. Lambda is proportional to current I. That means if you increase the current through the conductor, the flux linking with the coil or the flux linkage, that also will increase. So lambda and current are directly proportional. Okay. So now I can write lambda equal to L into I. So this constant of proportionality, L, it is nothing but inductance. It is nothing but inductance. So next is you differentiate on both sides of equation number 1. So you will be getting d lambda by dt equal to d by dt of L into I. So L is a constant, take it outside. L d by dt. See, this d lambda by dt is nothing but rate of change of flux linkage. Rate of change of flux linkage. D lambda by dt is the rate of change of flux linkage. So according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, according to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, this rate of change of flux linkage is nothing but the voltage. So d lambda by dt is nothing but the voltage V equal to L di by dt. So you can call this as equation number 3. So equation number 2, equation number 2. Now you keep this d by dt here, this you take it down. So you have this equation number 3, which is nothing but d by dt equal to V by L. Now you integrate on both sides of this equation number 3. So you get integral di by dt equal to integral V by L into dt plus I naught. So this I naught is the initial current through the inductor or through the coil. Okay, I naught is the initial current in the inductor. Suppose if we assume I naught, not IL, this is I naught, that is initial current. With the initial current is assumed to be 0, you can write integral di by dt equal to 1 by, because this L is a constant, you can take outside. So you get integral di by dt equals 1 by L integral V dt. Okay. So next step, I is integral di by dt, which is nothing but I, current, equal to 1 by L integral V dt. This you can call equation number 4. And power in the case of inductor, P equal to V into I. So just substitute the value we got for V. So you get L into di by dt into I. This you can call equation number 5. Next, energy, W equal to integral P into dt. So W equal to P is this, just substitute, integral L di by dt into I into dt, when initial current is assumed to be 0, that is I naught equal to 0. So L is constant, you take it outside. So W equal to L integral I di by dt multiplied by dt. This dt getting cancelled. And finally, we get W equal to L integral I di. So integrate this I. W equal to L I square divided by 2. So this I can write W equal to half Li square. So this is the equation that represents the energy stored in an inductor. So for a capacitor, half CV square. For an inductance, energy stored is half Li square. So these are the fundamental equations we require for transient analysis or transient response of electric circuit for AC and DC input. So we will be analyzing that what is the transient response for RL series circuit, RC series circuit. For DC input, suppose if you give DC as input, what is the transient response? What is a transient response and its associated mathematical equations? And also, when you apply the AC as input, what is the transient response? Okay, so this is what we may be doing in the subsequent lectures, right? For that, these are all because it involves inductance, capacitance separately or maybe together, right? So these equations are the basic equations for transient response analysis of circuits. Okay.